The 2010 theme comes with some pretty nifty features, including the ability to define custom header images for different pages throughout the site. This is a very cool feature, but it can be a bit distracting for the visitor if every page and every post has a custom header image. Personally, I like to restrict the featured header image function to only static pages within the site. There are several reasons for this. There's the distraction element I just mentioned, but more importantly, the theme uses the featured image or post thumbnail function to make this happen, and I like to use the featured image function for something else, actually displaying featured images. You'll learn more about the featured image function later in the course, but for now we're going to use what's called a conditional statement to display the custom header image only on static pages. A conditional statement is a small line of code that asks a question about the current content and then displays the content depending on that answer. For example, if this is a page, then display the featured image, else display the standard image. So to show you what I'm talking about, let's first define two featured images, a page and a post. So I'll go to the dashboard and find first a post. I'll just open the first one, scroll down, and find on the right side here the featured image function. I'll set a new featured image. Just pick the first image and set it as featured image. I'll update the page, and when I now go to the Hansel and Petal Go Live on the web, you'll see the header image changed to that image I just defined. If we go back home, we have the default image again. I'll do the same to a page. So I'll go to the About Hansel and Petal page, go down to Featured Images, select the files, and this is in the exercise files, by the way. I'll go to Assets, and then here we have a file called HP About. So I'll use that one and use it as a featured image and update it. So now when we go to the About page, you'll see it says About Us. So this is how I like using featured images. But as you could see in this post, this is how I don't like using featured images. I want to get rid of this one, but keeping the other one. So we're going to use a conditional statement. Let me first just demo a conditional statement for you. This is the header.php file in my child theme. So I'll go here right under the div ID header, and I'll add a conditional statement. In this case, I'll use a function called isPage and test for it. IsPage just tells you whether or not this is a page or something else. So I'll start off by saying PHP. I'll make myself some room. And then I'll say if, parentheses, isPage. This tests for page. And then I'll say curly bracket. And this is what happens then if it is a page. Echo, which just means print, this is a page. I'll end that line, go down after the curly bracket and say else. So this is what would happen if it's not a page. Echo, this is not a page. And that's all I need to do. So now I'll save the header file and reload my page. And you'll see at the top here, on the front page, it now says, this is not a page, because it isn't. This is an index. If I go to an actual page, it says, this is a page. But if I go home and then go to Hansel and Petal Go Live on the web, it says, this is not a page. So now I'm going to use that isPage function to get rid of the header image. I'll go back to Eclipse and just take out my example here. And then I'll find the actual code that creates the header image. It's down here on line 71. And I noticed that there's already a conditional statement here that says if is singular and current theme supports post thumbnails and it has post thumbnail post ID, blah, 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 else get the post thumbnail. So what I want to do is add an additional condition here. So I'll simply go in and say is page like I did before, and then say double ampersand, which means and save it. Now when I reload my post, you'll see we're back to the default header image. If I go home, we're also back to the default header image. But if I go to the About page, we get the custom header image. So just this little piece of code here, isPage, bracket, and a double ampersand actually made a huge difference to our site. And this is kind of the point. You can make very small changes that have a huge impact if you just do it right. Using conditional statements is an easy and effective way to make subtle changes in how or what content is displayed on pages and posts in a WordPress site, depending on factors like what kind of content is being displayed, what template is being used, and so on. What you've seen here is just a tip of a very large iceberg of possibilities. Just think about it. anytime you can make an if-then statement, you can make a conditional statement and make a change. It's pretty cool.